Good. Okay, so let me just briefly give you an introduction to today's class. You can be seated for it or you can be lying down and listening. It doesn't matter. But our theme today is to remind you that somatic movement is an educational process. And this educational process is to gain more control and more freedom and more communication between your brain and your muscles. And when I say muscles, I mean your muscles, your fascia, your skeleton, and your brain. And then as your movement improves, it improves body-wide. And anytime you make positive changes in the body, it is a body-wide improvement, and lots of things get better. The brain is constantly refining and upgrading its representation of the body, and it refines its representation of the body from external and internal feedback. And the brain is always taking in the feedback, and as much as possible, it's trying to, at least in terms of movement, it's trying to correct errors in movement. What we have to remember is if you repeat a pattern, a movement pattern, and that movement pattern is creating pain or discomfort, as you repeat that same movement pattern, you're going to repeat the pain and the discomfort. So the idea is, how do we change these movement patterns? How do we upgrade the feedback so that the brain can take the better feedback, the more efficient feedback, and overpower the old feedback and create new, more efficient movement patterns? So the idea of changing your feedback and getting the feedback from the movements you're doing to upgrade the patterns in your brain, you do that by going slower and going smaller so that you can feel more what's happening in your body. You can sense your experience, you can sense the sensations that are happening to you, and you can catch yourself in doing faulty patterns and change those patterns, and that more positive feedback or that new feedback to the brain will help the brain create new, more efficient patterns. And so the brain, by moving slower, by paying attention, by feeling differences in your body, your brain is doing what's called, Tom Hanna used to call it course correction, to upgrade your movement patterns because of the new feedback. So there's a few ingredients that I'm just going to review about what it takes in this educational process to learn anew better movement patterns. It takes attention, conscious attention. Sometimes we just call that awareness, so that you can perceive what's happening. And if you go quickly, if you go at your normal speed, the brain is not able to perceive the changes that fast. You have to slow down, and in many cases go smaller. Another ingredient is active engagement. That means the level of focus and intention you're allowing as you do your movements. And active engagement, it's an interesting thing. The more relaxed you can become, the better your active engagement is. So it's not a stressful active engagement. It's a very relaxed active engagement, and then the brain can really sense and overpower with better feedback the faulty feedback. And as your brain is able to course correct, you will have better integration overall of your movement patterns into your life and into the daily activities of your life. So the most important thing is move in comfort. If you go into pain, back off. Do it slower, do it smaller. If you can't make it pain-free or discomfort-free, you can do it in your imagination. And so moving slowly and gently and comfortably is the main thing. And it's a skill to understand comfort. And of course, the last thing I just want to mention is follow all medical directives. So if you have joint replacements or a pacemaker or something else, and you have medical directives, please follow that. Okay, let's go ahead and lie down on your back and lie down comfortably. You can have your knees bent or on a bolster or just straight out. And you're going to take a few seconds to find yourself. And I like that phrase. I can't remember who I learned it from, but I like it. You know, take a few seconds to find yourself. Come into your own body. And I like to start often by comparing the pressure from the back of my head to my and my sacrum, the back of my head and my sacrum, and see if those pressures feel the same or different. And if possible, you're going to try to remember that, and I'm going to try to remember at the end to have you compare that. And as you relax comfortably, your body will sink more toward the floor, toward the center of the earth. And go ahead and just tune into your face, relax your jaw, relax your facial muscles, relax your eyes. Just let the sound come into your ears. You don't have to have your ears reach out for the sound. The sound of my voice can come into your ears. And notice your breathing. You don't have to change it. Just focusing on your breathing will change your breathing a little bit, but you're not doing any kind of special breathing. You're not practicing a certain breathing practice, and they can be wonderful, but right now you're tuning into the kind of breathing your body is doing right now. And you may want to notice if you're breathing both into your belly and your chest. And you might notice if you're allowing the breath to come into your sides, into the rib cage on the sides of your body. And you might notice if you are allowing your breathing to go into your backside, the back of the lungs, the back of the rib cage, your back. And as you move, you want to take note to remind yourself to notice if you are moving in comfort, especially if you're starting out with pain and discomfort. So let's start, as we usually do, with our knees bent, and we're going to move into arch and flatten. And in this class, I have beginners, I have people that have been doing somatic movement for a little while, and I have more advanced people. So at various times, I'm going to be giving different levels of directions. So those of you that already know how to do arch and flatten, you can go ahead and start. For those of you that it's new or you want to hear the directions again, I'm going to repeat them now. As you inhale, you're going to keep your buttocks on the floor, and you're going to gently let your lower back, especially your waistline, rise up a little bit from the floor, and your pelvis is rolling towards your tailbone. And then as you exhale, you're going to have a gentle relaxation and contract your abdominal muscles. So your pubic bone and your ribs, especially your lower rib border, are coming a little closer together. And your belly is contracted, your belly muscles are contracted. And then as you inhale, you slowly release. And you can either come to neutral and rest and stop, or you can continue in a flow. The next time you inhale, you'll inhale and arch. You'll roll towards your tailbone. That will help to lift your waistline. Your pelvis is rocking in one direction towards your tailbone. And then as you exhale, you relax, you shift your muscular contraction to your belly. Your pelvis rocks so your pubic bone comes towards your chest. And then as you inhale, you slowly release the belly and the front of the body and go back into the arch. Allow your head and neck to move as well if you can. You want the movement in the pelvis and in the low back and center of the body, which we call the somatic center, to allow that movement to come all the way through your spine into your head and neck. And the next time you complete a flatten, just stop and rest with your knees bent, because we're going to do a variation of arch and flatten. And this is arch and flatten with head rolling. Let me direct it. It's a particular pattern. As you inhale and arch, roll your head comfortably to one side. You get to choose. As you exhale and flatten by contracting your belly, your head comes back to center. The next time you inhale and arch, you let your head turn to the opposite direction in comfort. And then you go into your flatten, contracting your belly, your lower back goes closer to the floor, your head comes back to center. So go ahead until I call the end of this movement. And on your arch is where you're turning your head to one side. And on your flatten, you're bringing your head back to center, nose to ceiling. And note if it's easier to turn to one side. And if you have pain or discomfort, go smaller. And the next time you finish a flatten with your head back into the center, go ahead and rest with your knees bent. We're going to do one more variation. We're going to come down to the feet, and we're going to combine arch and flatten with quite a strong movement to our calves and the front of our forelegs and our feet and ankles. So you want to approach this gently. As you inhale and arch and allow your waistline to lift, you're going to gently raise up your heels, keeping some part of your foot on the floor, the balls of the foot or the toes. And then slowly come down. And as you continue to exhale and flatten, contracting your belly, raise up your toes and feet, leave your heels on the floor. So when you're flattening, your toes are coming up, your feet are coming up, your heels are staying down. When you're inhaling and arching, your heels are coming up, and that's strongly contracting your calf muscles, so be careful. And as you exhale, you'll go into the flatten, and you'll raise your feet and toes, but leave the heels on. Go ahead and do one more. When you arch, you're raising the heels. And when you flatten, you're dorsiflexing or bringing your toes and feet up towards your kneecap. And then, without rushing, rest, let your legs lengthen, and just take a little interlude of relaxation. And this helps you to allow your brain to take in your experiences from the movement you've been doing, the sensations. It allows your brain to continue to get the feedback. And with the updated feedback, your brain will be able to course correct some of your movements and make them more efficient. And now we're going to do a variation of flatten, and I call it the Iliacus flatten. One leg at a time, at least that's how I like to do it. Go ahead and bend each leg. Feet on the floor. So your knees are bent, your feet are on the floor, and you're going to pay attention to your lower abdominal muscles near your pubic bone, just above your pubic bone. You can even take your hands and you can bring them around the front on the inside of your hip bones and kind of toward your pubic bone, just generally. And this time you're going to, you can add the arch if you want it, but we're going to focus on a variation on the flatten. So you can inhale with or without an arch. And as you exhale, you're going to focus on just bringing your pubic bone towards your belly button. And that's going to engage lower abdominal muscles. Deep in your abdomen, one of the muscles is the iliacus. And then you're going to go ahead, let your breathing normalize, and each time you come to an exhale, you are gently bringing your pubic bone just towards your belly button, and it's going to contract your lower abdominal muscles, an area that we often don't get into as well, and can be very helpful for sacroiliac and low back problems. When you're ready to inhale and breathe, you just let everything relax. And then one more on an exhale. You may feel the engagement under your fingers deep in the abdomen, below rectus abdominis, even though you might get some rectus abdominis too. If you just hook your pubic bone up towards your navel, up towards your belly button, and focus on deep lower abdominal muscles. And then relax. You can let your legs lengthen if you want. And periodically we take these little interludes. I won't let them last too long because I always have so many wonderful different things I want us to experience. So now we're going to go into two variations of arch and curl. So once again, I like to do it one leg at a time. You're going to bend your knees. Your feet are on the floor. And you're going to bring your hands behind your head. And the first one is going to be our regular arch and flatten, and I'll lead everybody through it. But I call this one elbow toward face so I can distinguish it from the other one that I like to do. So your hands are behind your head and your elbows are out, or as out as they are comfortable being out. And you're going to do a full spinal extension as you inhale, which means you're going to inhale and raise up your waistline, and you're going to let your head tip back. And if it's comfortable, you'll even bring your elbows toward the floor. And then as you exhale, you're going to relax your back, contract your belly. Your hands will help lift your head. Your elbows come closer to your head. Your pubic bone and ribs and forehead are coming toward each other gently. You're very much in the rectus abdominis in the center of the belly. And then as you slowly come out of this. Some people come out so nice and slowly that they take a couple of breaths to come out. When you get to the floor, you take a mini rest. You find a new inhale, and you inhale full spinal arch, tailbone into the floor, back of the head into the floor gently, maybe elbows into the floor. And then exhale, and you're going to do that same curl, elbows towards your head. And then as you lift your head, your elbows towards your knees, and your pubic bone and your chest come closer together. And then slowly come out of this and just let everything rest. I mean, you're staying with your knees bent and your elbows relaxed, but now we're going to go into another variation. And I call this variation elbows stay out. So this time, same arch. You're going to inhale and arch, tailbone back, head back, or meaning toward the floor. But this time, as you exhale and curl, you contract your belly, your hands still help lift your head, but your elbows stay out. And the engagement is of the upper abdominal muscles, right where the bottom of your rib cage meets your abdominal area. That's where the focus of this movement is. And then you slowly come back down and you relax. So you want to see if you can feel more engagement in the upper abdominal area closer to your the bottom of your rib cage. So inhale and arch, full spinal extension. Exhale to curl, hands help lift the head, elbows stay out, pubic bone and chest still come toward each other, but by keeping your elbows out, you are changing where you are engaging the abdominal muscles. Come out of this slowly, bring your hands down and rest. You can rest in any position that's comfortable. And once again, I am going to repeat how important these interludes of rest are. The interlude, the feedback from your muscles and your bones and your joints and your fascia, and even feedback from organs and all different kinds of things we're not aware of, that feedback continues to come into the brain, and the brain continues to integrate that feedback, and it allows your brain to fully appreciate and understand that feedback in terms of your experience, your sensation, how the brain might need to upgrade some programs that may have been faulty. And so again, these interludes are really important for the feedback from the active engagement and quality of attention to the movements that you've been doing. This is brain work. This is brain work. Yes, brain muscle communication, but this is all about allowing the feedback from your muscles to get into the brain so the brain can course correct and make more efficient and less painful your movements. Okay, you're going to turn over onto your bellies. Now, if it is not comfortable for you to turn onto your belly, you can stay on your back and just do the best you can to do the movements from your back. And we're going to start with one hand over the other and your forehead on your top hand. And if you can possibly make that comfortable, that's going to be our initial starting position. Anytime you need to turn your head, you can do that. If you're not quite sure you want to do belly movements, you can also sit up and watch and see what other people are doing so you understand it for another lesson. You can chime in and start doing it if you want. Okay, so your head is on your hands, on your top hand. You're going to leave your hands down. And as you inhale and arch, which is the lifting head position, your head is going long just as much as it's coming away from the floor. It's a smaller, your head doesn't come up as much, but it's much longer in your spine. It's a much safer and better extension. So as you inhale and lift your head's going long as it slightly lifts, and possibly you'll feel the feedback all the way down into your lower back. And then you'll come down and rest. Part 2. You're going to leave your head down. You're going to leave your hands down under your head, and you're going to take your elbows. And on an inhale, you're going to bring your elbows backward. It's not a big move for most of us. It's not a big move. And then as you relax, you'll relax your elbows back down. Some of you may not be able to move your elbows toward the ceiling. Just do it in your imagination, or do it so small that your brain begins to get the pattern. So your hands are under your forehead on an inhale. Your head is down, your hands are down. You're bringing your elbows behind you toward the ceiling gently. Your shoulder blades are coming closer together. And then you're going to slowly release and relax. Part 3. If it's comfortable, your hands are going to stay down on the floor. But if it's comfortable, as you inhale and arch and raise your head, you're also going to raise your elbows with your hands down. So inhale, raise your head as you lengthen your head long, raise your elbows, hands stay down, and slowly come down and relax. Next pattern. Move your hands. You're going to end up turning your face to your most comfortable side. And you're going to part your hands. They're going to stay on the floor, palm down near your head or near your shoulders. You find the position that is comfortable for your hands, both arms bent, both palms on the floor. And your head is turned either right or left. And you're going to leave your arms down for part one. As you inhale with your head turned to whichever direction it is, you're going to inhale and gently lift your head. Remember, you're going long as you lift your head. And the contraction is going to be coming down your spinal muscles towards the side you're turning your head toward. And you're going to let that relax. And this time, part two, you're going to leaving your head to the side, you're going to raise both your elbows, your palms stay down. So inhale and raise your elbows toward the ceiling gently. Your shoulder blades, your shoulder blades are active, and slowly come back down. And this time, you're going to change your arm position and bring your arms down to your sides, both arms long, down to your sides. This time, as you inhale, you're going to keep your head down, but you're going to lift both arms toward the ceiling. So you'll inhale, lift both arms. Again, your shoulders and shoulder blades, even your spine is somewhat active. And slowly come down. This time, you're with your head turned, whichever way it is, you're going to keep your head turned. You're going to raise your head and both arms. Inhale, raise your head and both arms. Stay comfortable. Come down slowly. Bend both elbows again with your palms on the floor near your head or shoulders, but not under them. And if you can, you're going to press your hands down a little into the floor to help you turn your head to the other side. If your head does not want to turn to the other side, do not force it. You can either stay to the same side you were just on, or you can put your forehead in the middle. So by pressing your hands down, it lifts your shoulder girdle a little, it helps you to turn your head. So now, your head is turned to the other direction, your hands are on the floor. You're going to inhale, keep your hands down, raise your head. Your head goes long as much as it goes backward. And exhale and come down. This time, keep your head down. On an inhale, raise your elbows. Hands stay down. And slowly release back, elbows back to the floor. This time, you're going to raise your head, your face stays turned, and both elbows, both hands stay on the floor. So inhale, raise and lengthen your head long as you raise both elbows. Just to comfort, it's a skill you have to learn, and slowly come back down. For this next one, if you can bring your forehead back to center, you may have to tip your head so your neck, the back of your neck is long. You want to protect your nose. That's the important thing. If you can go back to that center position, do that. If you can't, you can turn your head. Both arms are bent, both hands are on the floor. And what you're going to do, you're going to keep your head down on the floor, and your hands are going to stay down on the floor, but you're going to bring both shoulders and shoulder blades gently backward, aiming your shoulders and shoulder blades for the center of your back along your spine. It's a lower trapezius move. That's the reference muscle. And then slowly come back down. Go ahead and try that again. It's often people take a little time to organize this, and don't force it. On an inhale, your shoulders and shoulder blades go backward and aim toward the center of your back and your spine. And slowly come back down. This third and last time, you're going to do that and raise your head if it's comfortable to raise your head. So on an inhale, raising your head goes long, your shoulder and shoulder blades come backward and aim toward the center of your back along your spine. And then you're going to slowly release and relax. And you're going to put your head in any position that's comfortable and your arms in any position that's comfortable, because we're going to go to the hamstrings. So your head can be in the middle, it can be turned, your arms can be bent, or one arm can be bent and one arm can be straight, whatever is comfortable for your upper body. And you're going to take both the hamstrings are the back of your thighs, between your knee and your buttock. And what you're going to do is you're going to gently bend your knees, and you're going to try to bend your knees not with your foot up toward the ceiling as if you have not with a 90-degree angle in the knee, but halfway at a 45-degree angle, so that instead of bending your knees so your feet are facing the ceiling, they're only bending about halfway up. And if you hold that for a moment, you might begin to feel your hamstrings, that's brought to you by your hamstrings, are contracting your knee to bend, and very slowly bring your feet down. Now remember, when your big toe touches, or whatever toe touches, you're not completely relaxed yet. You have a little ways to go so that you completely relax your legs as much and feet as much as you can. This second time, you're going to bend your knees less. So you're going to try to go halfway again. Hold for a moment. See if you can feel those hamstrings engage. And then very slowly, let your feet come down. You'll feel one or two of your toes, and then you'll still have a little more relaxation to go. This third and last time, you're going to bend your knees even less. It takes more attention and control to do the movement smaller and slower. So, once again, very slowly release your feet and toes back down to the floor. And relax. If you need to change your head position, that's fine. We're going to stay with the hamstrings. This is a hamstring lengthening move that I quite like. And I'm going to teach it on a couple of different levels. The starting level is, let's go with your right leg first. You're going to turn the toes of your right foot into runner's pose. You're going to bring your toes forward toward your kneecap. And what you're going to do, so your toes are forward. I hope people understand that. It took me a while when I was learning this to understand what that meant. And you're going to feel your right knee on the floor. And now, breathe any way you want, take your right knee toward the ceiling and let your right heel, go a little bit away from your face. It may not go away from your face yet, but it may. And then slowly let your knee relax. If you can stay with your toes in runner's pose, that would be great. Now that's where most people want to start. If you are more advanced, you'll understand this direction. So once again, everybody that can do this to this level, runner's pose with your right toes, and bring your right knee toward the ceiling, and lengthen through your right heel by side bending, hip hiking your left, and let your right side go long. And then slowly release. So if you know the hip hiking move, you can add it. If you don't, you just are bringing your knee toward the ceiling and then slowly letting it relax. Let's go to your left foot and go your toes into runner's pose. Breathe any way you want. Make sure you are breathing. Bring your knee toward the ceiling. Your heel begins to jet long away from your face, and slowly let your knee come back to the floor. And you're going to repeat that, breathing comfortably, knee to the ceiling. If you understand this direction, you can jet your heel more away from your head by side bending to the right and allowing the left side of your body to lengthen. And don't worry if you don't understand that direction. It takes some practice to get there. So I really only want people who are more advanced to be able to do this. And then let that relax. And let your foot relax. All right, we're going to do some alternation. Both sets of toes in runner's pose. Gently, both back of the knee, right back of the knee, only the right back of the knee goes toward the ceiling. Lengthen your right side by jetting your heel, right back of the knee toward the ceiling, right heel jets. You can side bend left to lengthen that right side more. Let that relax. And now bring the left back of your knee toward the ceiling. Jet your left heel longer away from your face. You can side bend right to even lengthen that left side more. And then slowly release. And one more round on your own to the extent that you are comfortable. Go back to your right. At minimum, your right back of knee comes toward the ceiling. Your right leg is longer. You can lengthen that whole side if you side bend left. And then go ahead and slowly release and reverse. The back of your left knee toward the ceiling. Your left leg is lengthened at minimum, and you can lengthen your whole left side by side bending right. And turn over onto your back and rest. That was, it would be nice to do many more repetitions and work into that more, but you'll have, if you want this, you can have this tape. It'll be on my SoundCloud for audio. It'll be on my website, and it'll be on YouTube. So you can repeat this lesson. You can pause the pause button and repeat as many repetitions as you want. Okay, so once again, an interlude for rest so that your brain continues to upgrade and course correct any movement patterns where it finds inefficiency, and it can change it to more efficient. One leg at a time, bend both legs. And we're actually going to go back into another variation of arch and flatten. So you're going to inhale and arch, raising your belt line, raising your waistline, rolling towards your tailbone. Exhale, contract belly to gently flatten pubic bone towards chest. Now, as you continue this, on an inhale, let your arms roll outward and your shoulders go backward gently. As you exhale and flatten, contracting your belly, let your arms roll inward and your shoulders round forward. And so go ahead and repeat them. We're warming up our arms and shoulders for our next movement. If you're arching your low back, raising it, you're rolling your arms outward and your shoulders backward just to comfort. And as you're exhaling and flattening, you're rolling your arms inward, rounding your shoulders forward just to comfort. And end on a flatten and relax. We're going to be doing the upper body barrel. Some of you may know it, but of course I'm going to break it down and make sure that the movement is understood in some extra detail and nuance. I prefer to do this movement with my knees bent. We're going to be working more with the upper body. We are going to be working with the upper body barrel today. Your pelvis is going to remain quiet and calm on the floor. Go ahead and raise your right arm, fingers towards ceiling. Now, if that is not a comfortable position for your right arm, you can lower it a little bit more towards your knees. It works both ways. But if your fingers can go up toward the ceiling, then that's the position that Tom Hanna wrote this for. And what you're going to do is you're going to very gently raise your right arm, fingers toward the ceiling, and then you're going to slowly, keeping your arms straight, let your shoulder come back to the floor. And you're breathing comfortably. And now we're going to add a movement of the chest and head. This is part of the cross-lateral, contralateral movement in the trunk when we walk. As you raise your right fingers long, either toward the ceiling, or your fingers may be a little lower, you're going to turn your rib cage, your upper body, your rib cage to the left, and your face will probably also want to turn to the left, and that's going to help you raise your arm. And then slowly your chest comes and face come back to neutral, and your right shoulder comes back to the floor, but your arm stays up if you can. One more time. As you reach your arm long, your chest and face turn left. And then let your chest come to neutral, your shoulder with a straight arm comes to the floor, and then slowly bring your right arm down. And as you slowly bring your right arm down, you are releasing shoulder flexor muscles. Raise your left hand, left fingers to the floor. If that's not comfortable, you can bring your hand a little closer towards your knee. And you're going to gently breathe comfortably and reach your fingers toward the ceiling. It's not a very big move when you don't add other parts of your body. And slowly, with a straight arm, bring your shoulder back to the floor. And now we're going to add the rotation in the trunk. Raise your left fingers toward the ceiling. Turn your rib cage, some of your somatic center as well, your face probably to the right, but your fingers stay directly up toward the ceiling. They do not move with your chest. Your hand goes straight up, your chest and face rotate and come back to center, and let your shoulder come back down to the floor. One more time. Reach with your left fingers straight up, but comfortably. Your hands stay straight up. Your chest and face rotate right. And then with a straight arm, your shoulder comes to the floor, your chest and face to center, and let your left arm slowly come down so that you allow those shoulder flexors to relax. Raise your right arm, fingers to ceiling, or adjust your arm for comfort. You're going to keep your elbows straight. So raise your right arm, fingers towards ceiling. Okay, now listen carefully, small move. Your right shoulder is going to gently go backward a little bit more into the floor, and your right shoulder blade is going to come toward your spine. And then slowly let that release to your neutral. And this time you're going to combine that with chest and head rotation to the right, keeping your right arm straight, your right elbow straight. As your right shoulder goes toward more into the floor, right shoulder blade towards your spine, your chest and head rotate right. And come back to center and slowly lower your right arm. And the slow release of the right arm, you may be able to feel some of the, like biceps, you may be able to feel some of the shoulder flexors have to be controlled to release it slowly and smoothly. Okay. Raise your left arm, fingers to ceiling. All right, now you're going to bring with your elbow straight, left elbow straight, you're going to bring your left shoulder more into the floor, and your left shoulder blade is gently going to go towards your spine. And slowly come to your neutral, meaning your arm is still toward the ceiling, but you're in the starting position. Now your rotation is going to be to your left. So your left shoulder comes toward the floor, left shoulder blade toward the spine, and your chest rotates left. Your face probably wants to rotate left. If it wants to rotate the opposite direction, that's fine. And then come back to neutral slowly and do that one more time. Breathe. Left shoulder toward floor, left shoulder blade toward spine, chest, part of in your somatic center rotate left, your face probably rotates left. And come to neutral and let your arm come back down slowly to the floor. Okay. Both arms towards the ceiling. Palms are facing each other. They're not coming together. They're just facing each other. Gently, as you lengthen through your right fingers toward the ceiling, rotating chest and head left, your left shoulder blade is going towards your spine. And now you're going to flow into the opposite. You're going to begin to lengthen through your left fingers. You're rotating to the right. Your right shoulder blade is going towards your spine. And you're going to gently go back and forth, stay in your comfort zone. These can be very small movements. You want your brain to find these patterns. And so your elbows stay straight if you can. Your arms stay straight up and down if they can. Whichever arm is reaching toward the ceiling, you're rotating your chest and face to the opposite direction. And that shoulder is going backward towards your spine. And you've got a reaching movement forward, backward through straight arms, and a rotational movement in your chest and head and neck. And slowly complete and bring your arms down slowly. It would be great if we had time to bring your arms down slowly, 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 but we only have time for your arms to come down moderately slowly. Now you might think, well, what else could she do in this position? Well, let's try a couple of other things. Hands in the air, palms towards your feet. Aha, same movement pattern, different position, different muscle fibers engaged. Be very careful with your shoulders. One arm reaches, your torso and face rotate to the opposite side. The opposite shoulder blade comes towards your spine. And then you go into a flow and you reverse that. As your other arm reaches, you rotate your chest and your face opposite to the arm that's reaching. That side shoulder goes towards your shoulder blade. Don't overdo it. Slowly let your arms come down. Raise your arms, bring the backs of your hands facing each other. Your palms are outward, the backs of your hands are facing each other. We're not going to do it right now, but you can do the same movement from this position. Now turn your palms towards your face. You can do the movement from this position. There are 4 hand movements. Let me go through them. We'll call number 1 right now palms to face because that's what you're doing. Then you've got palms facing each other. That's a second position. You've got palms towards your feet, third position in any order, and palms facing outward, fourth position. Slowly let your arms come down. And if you were doing the full barrel, which we're not going to do today, but we'll probably do next month, you combine this movement with the lower barrel, which is, some of you know the movement long back. And it's really interesting to change your shoulder positions, shoulder girdle positions through your arms. Okay, rest for just a moment in any position that's comfortable. And you can always, if you're feeling any tension or anything and there's some way you want to move a little bit, it's always fine to do. Okay. We're going to move into the arch and curl on the diagonal, but of course I'm going to nuance it and make certain aspects of it hopefully clearer to many people. So bend your knees and we are going to work with the upper body diagonal curl first. So bring your right hand behind your head. Your left arm is just down on the floor. Okay. So normally we do an inhale and arch, and on the exhale and curl, the right elbow and left knee will be coming toward each other. But right now, we're going to leave both our feet on the floor with our knees bent, and we're going to work on refining what's happening in this upper body curl with rotation or turning. So Your arch is going to be your arch. So just go ahead and inhale and arch anyway. You just go ahead and roll towards your tailbone, back of your head down. Your elbow may come, right elbow may come more toward the floor. Now, as you exhale to curl, you're going to contract your belly. Your right hand will help lift your head. You're going to aim your right elbow to the left. I don't care where to the left. It could be towards your left hip or towards your left ribs or somewhere to the left. So you're going to lift your head so that you're curling and turning to the left, your right elbow going somewhere left, and come back down. Okay, now here's the concept I really want to refine. Where are you weighted? When something lifts from the floor, in this case, your right shoulder, upper right quadrant, your right, even your right upper back will somewhat lighten or lift. When you want something to lift, something else has to press down. In this case, I want you to be aware that your weight goes into your left upper back, left shoulder blade, left upper back. So bring your right hand behind your head. Go ahead and do your arch. Inhale, arch. Now, as you exhale and curl and lift your head, you're aiming your right elbow and your head with your hand behind it towards your left. Somewhere to the left, you are lightening the back or lifting the back of your upper right quadrant, and your weight is going into your upper left back, upper left quadrant. Notice where you lift and where you weight. You will make this pattern more efficient and give feedback to your brain more efficiently if you note where you're weighted and where you're lighter. So one more time, or another time. You can inhale and exhale if you want. Inhale and arch, but on your exhale, as you curl and lift your head and curl forward, you're aiming your right elbow to the left, your left upper quadrant, your right upper quadrant is lifting or lightening on the floor, and your weight is going into your left upper quadrant, left shoulder blade, upper back area. Notice how you are weighting, and it helps to rotate your whole body to the left. Your upper body is now rotated to the left. And you come back down and relax. And let your arm come down, your right arm come down. So we're going to now do that with our left hand behind our head, and we're going to notice what is lighter on the floor, what is weighted on the floor. To press into the floor with what is weighted helps to lift the side that lifts or lightens. It's in walking. One foot is on the ground, the other is able to lift and move. You wouldn't be able to lift and move if one foot didn't stay on the ground and provide weight. Okay, left hand behind your head. You can make these movements smaller. Sometimes it's easier to discern what is happening when you go smaller. Left hand behind your head. Inhale and arch. Now, as you exhale and curl, your hand helps lift your head. You're going to rotate your elbow and upper body towards the right. Your pelvis stays relatively stable. And your left upper quadrant, left back, the back of your left shoulder blade, shoulder lifts or lightens, and the weight goes into the back of your upper back right quadrant, right shoulder blade. And then you slowly come down. As you continue to do this move, you want to feel what you have to weight so you know what you lift. So you'll inhale, you'll arch, and as you exhale and go into a curl, you're rotating to the right, your upper body to the right, your face to the right, your left elbow to the right, your left shoulder blade is lightening, shoulder blade. Your right shoulder blade and parts of your upper right back are weighted. And slowly release and relax. And let your arm come down and relax. This is really worth breaking apart and practicing and noticing weightedness, because noticing where you're working with gravity and which is weighted, and where you're working against gravity, which is what is lifting, is going to do a whole lot to add feedback to your brain to upgrade your movement programs and to course correct a lot of any faulty patterns that were causing pain and discomfort. Okay, we're going to go to the lower body. We're going to emphasize the diagonal curl in the lower body, and the same principle is going to apply, but I'm going to take you through it. Legs are bent. We're going to start with the right leg. Now, in a moment, let me go through this a little bit. You'll arch, and when you come to the curl, you'll be curling, you'll be contracting your belly, you're going to leave your head down, you're going to leave your upper body down, you're going to be lifting gently your right leg so you flex your hip even more, and you're going to be directing your right knee to the left, which means your weight is going to go into your left buttock, left hemipelvis, left buttock. Your right buttock, your right hemipelvis is going to lighten or even lift. Let's try it. Stay within your comfort zone. You're going to inhale. You're welcome to arch. Inhale and arch. As you exhale, you're going to lift your right bent leg a little bit and direct your right knee hemipelvis towards your left somewhere. Your right buttock is lightening or lifting. Your weight is going into your left buttock, and then you're going to slowly come down. Feel where you are weighted. As you repeat, you can go ahead and repeat. I will say the directions because some people this is brand new too. As you'll inhale and arch. When you get to your exhale and curl, you'll gently lift your right leg. You'll direct your right knee to the left, but also your right hemipelvis to the left. And your weight is going into your left, and your right hemipelvis, right buttock is lightening, is getting lighter. And this will help many, many people when we do this movement. They do not shift their weight in their lower body. They might unconsciously shift their weight in their upper body, consciously or unconsciously, but often the weighted part in the pelvis is often more confusing for people. One more time, we're going to practice this. You're going to you can inhale and arch, and as you exhale and curl, contracting belly, lifting right bent knee a little, directing right knee to the left. Weight goes into your left buttock. You're lightening or lifting your right hemipelvis and coming back down. For some of you, this is like, whoa, I don't think I've ever done this before. This is really important. Keep it small, keep it comfortable. Let's go to the left leg. So in this one, just to review on the curl, you'll be contracting your belly. You'll be flexing your left hip more, which means lifting your left leg a little bit. Your left knee will be directed to rotate or turn to the right. Your weight is going to go in your right buttock. Okay, let's try it. Inhale and arch. Exhale and curl, flex or lift your left bent leg a little. Start directing your left knee to the right. Your weight rolls into your right buttock. Your left buttock becomes unweighted. It may even lift. If this is a confusing pattern or you was easy on one side, this side, sometimes one side or the other is less easy, go smaller. Keep it comfortable. You're trying to change the brain pattern, and if you go into pain, you're just teaching your brain to move in pain, in painfulness. You want to move in comfort, go slower, go smaller, even in your imagination if you can't figure it out. Again, you can go at your own pace, but I'll lead the directions again. You're going to inhale and arch. And as you exhale and curl, contracting your belly, flexing or lifting your left leg a little bit, directing your left knee to the right. You're putting the weight, you're rolling your weight into your right buttock, right hemipelvis. You're unweighting your you're rolling, yes, into your, you're unweighting your left hemipelvis, left buttock, so it can turn, so you can turn your right knee to the left. Did I say that right? I hope I did. Let me do that one more time. I'm not sure if I got my words confused. I think we're on the left. Okay, so your left knee, you're going to weight your right buttock. So you're going to inhale and arch. And as you exhale and curl, contract your belly. You're going to flex your left knee a little bit more, aim it to the right. Your weight is going into your right buttock. You are lifting or lightening your left hemipelvis, left buttock. Good. All right. Are we ready to put it all together? What's interesting about doing the diagonal curl, your hemipelvis is, thank you, I got a question. Your hemipelvis is half of your pelvis. So let me just, thank you for the question. If I say right buttock, I'm referring to your whole right hemipelvis, the whole, if you took your pelvis and divided it into a right and left side, your right buttock would go with your right hemipelvis, and your left buttock would go with your left hemipelvis. I'm sorry I didn't define that earlier. Sometimes I interchange buttock for hemipelvis. Okay, so now we're going to do the diagonal work, and it means that your opposite upper back and opposite buttock are going to be weighted, and then the other pair of opposites are going to be light or lifted. So right hand behind your head. Get ready to lift your left knee. So right hand behind your head. Get ready to lift your left knee. You're going to inhale and arch. As you exhale and curl, you're going to help your hand helps lift your head. You're going to curl and turn your upper body to the left. Lift your left knee, and your left knee is going to turn to the right. Can you feel where your weight is in your upper body and lower body? Where you feel your weight will help you to lift your other side. This is a complicated pattern to say in words, and you're done with it before I get through the words. So I'll try to emphasize different things. Once again, do it on your own, do it slowly, keep going at your own pace. But as you'll inhale and arch, and as you diagonally curl right elbow, left knee, you're curling and turning your upper body to the left and your pelvis and lower body to the right. Notice where your weight is in the shoulder area. Notice where the weight is in your buttock. And because of time, let's go ahead and change our hand positions. Now you're going to get ready to lift your right knee, and your left hand is behind your head, your left elbow, right knee. Inhale and arch. And as you exhale and curl diagonally. Your left elbow and right knee come toward each other. Your upper body rotates right, your lower body rotates left. Where are you weighted? And one more time. Inhale and arch. Exhale, diagonally curl. Your upper body is rotated right. Your lower body is rotated left. You feel the weight in your left butt and your right shoulder blade area. Okay, leave it alone. Relax in any position that's comfortable. That was a lot of information. And as I say, I will be having this available for you, and you can repeat any section you want, pause the button and repeat and do as many repetitions as you want to understand it even more. So let yourself rest and relax. That's where we're ending the movement part of our session. And your legs can be in any position that is comfortable. Notice the pressure of the back of your head on the floor or pillow, and notice the pressure of your sacrum. Have they equalized more? You probably feel more sunken down into the floor towards the center of the earth. The center of the earth is iron. It's evidently a giant iron core crystal. We have a lot of iron in our blood. There is a resonance when we ground in any position and we ground ourselves toward the center of the earth. We are causing in my opinion, in my belief system, we are causing a vibrational frequency for iron that is also going to help our blood to circulate. Notice the sensations of relaxation. Your brain is continuing to get the feedback from the movements you've been doing. Your brain is continuing to compare old patterns and new patterns, and when possible, upgrading to new, more efficient patterns. The key in doing somatic movements is, remember, it's educational. You are increasing the communication between your brain and your muscles, between the brain and your body. And by doing so, you're making yourself smarter, you're making your muscles stronger, you're making your movement patterns more efficient, you're feeling better, you'll have less balance when you are both in sitting posture and in standing, walking, and other activities done in standing. You'll have less pain, more comfort, more freedom, more joy, more well-being. Take just a moment to continue to rest on the floor. We have 1 minute left. I'm probably going to go over a couple of minutes. I understand if that's not okay for you. I'd like you to do a little bit of integration into upright standing and walking. So think about that you're going to start moving a little bit so that you can start working your way by turning to one side, to sitting slowly, carefully. You're in quite a parasympathetic, relaxed state, probably, and come to standing. And just take a moment in standing. You've been doing a lot of different movements. Feel your feet, soften your knees. If you've locked your knees, soften those knees. Notice if your legs are under you. Notice your height. Notice your verticality. And then begin to walk. I call this the la-di-da walk. You're not doing anything special. You're walking around. You can go out of screen. It's not a problem. You're just integrating. You're taking the movements that we've been doing, and now you're allowing the brain to integrate those movements and the upgrade of different patterns into your walking. So you might notice and allow your arms to swing. Let your stride be very comfortable. You might even notice the contralaterality in your trunk. What that means is your upper and lower trunk actually rotate in opposite directions as you walk. As your arms and legs go forward and back, your forward arm actually rotates your upper trunk to the opposite direction, and your forward leg takes your pelvis to the opposite direction. So you get this cross-lateral rotation of the upper and lower trunk with the movement of your arms and legs. And that is going to end the movement portion of our class. What I'm going to stay on if people have questions, confusions, comments, feedback. I am going to turn off the recording, but the recording will be available next Tuesday when Isaiah, my wonderful tech person, comes back. And I always say, oh, I put this on YouTube and all that. Actually, Isaiah puts it on, all those things. And I sit there and dictate what he's supposed to do. Okay, so I'm turning off the recording. Thank you very much. Oh, July 4th, the next Saturday in July is July 4th. It's a holiday. Tom Hanna made us come to our training on July 4th. We were shocked, but he said, nope, you're coming. If you're around and available and would like to join me on July 4th as part of your New Year's, as part of your, birthday celebration for our country, please join me. I'm going to give the class. And then if you can't come, that's okay. It is going to be available again the following week on YouTube, SoundCloud, my website. Okay, everybody. Thank you.